Reflection. My friends, in this life, not everyone who claps for you is happy for you. Some hands only come together to make noise, not to celebrate your purpose. Sometimes, reflection. God will strip away the layers of people around you, not to hurt you, but to open your eyes. Because when you pray for truth, reflection, He won't just show you your destiny. He'll show you the distractions standing in the way of it. And that revelation can sting. But remember, exposure is not punishment. It's preparation. Reflection, God will let you see how fake they were, not to make you bitter, but to make you wiser. When you start walking in your purpose, not everyone will celebrate you. Reflection. Some people were comfortable with you as long as you stayed where they met you. They were fine when you doubted yourself, when you questioned your worth. Reflection. When you needed their validation to move forward. But the moment you began to rise, the moment you started believing that you were created for more, their tone began to change. Suddenly, reflection. The laughter didn't sound the same, the support didn't feel as genuine, and the room that once welcomed you now felt colder. That's not your imagination. It's revelation. Reflection. Growth makes people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from your limitations. God will allow you to see who's truly for you and who's simply familiar with you. Reflection. Because not everyone attached to your history deserves a place in your destiny. The truth is, when you elevate, you shift the atmosphere. Your energy changes, your priorities mature. Reflection. And your peace becomes too expensive for people who feed on drama. That's when God starts to expose. He doesn't expose to embarrass anyone. He exposes to protect you. Reflection. Because you cannot walk into your promise with counterfeit people draining your spirit. Some people only came into your life to serve a season, not a lifetime. Their assignment was temporary. Reflection. But you tried to make it permanent. So God steps in. He shakes the foundation, removes the comfort, and shows you the cracks you refuse to see. That's why certain friendships end suddenly. Reflection. Why certain people start pulling away when you're doing better. It's not rejection. It's revelation. Reflection. God is showing you that not everyone is built to handle the version of you that's walking in purpose. And you've got to be strong enough to accept it. Reflection. You can't drag old connections into new chapters and expect peace to follow. Some people are meant to witness your growth from a distance because they cannot handle your glow up close. Reflection. Don't feel guilty for outgrowing people who chose not to grow with you. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. The higher you go, the more selective you must become. Reflection. Airplanes don't carry unnecessary weight because altitude demands sacrifice. Likewise, your journey to purpose will require you to leave behind what no longer serves your spirit. Reflection. And though it may hurt, it's holy work. Every time God removes someone, He's making room for something divine. Reflection. The view from the top is clearer for a reason. He's showing you what's real and what was only pretending to be. Growth is the ultimate test of loyalty. Reflection. And not everyone will pass it. There will come a time when you sit in silence, replaying in your mind all the things you did for people who turned their backs on you. Reflection. You'll wonder how someone you trusted could twist your kindness, how a heart you helped heal could end up wounding yours. Reflection. But that's when you must remind yourself, God heard conversations you never did. He saw the things done in the dark, the whispers behind your back, the intentions behind those smiles. Reflection. While you were trying to love purely, others were pretending with polluted hearts. And because God loves you too deeply to let you stay blind, He pulls the curtain back. Reflection. It may not happen suddenly. It may come through disappointment, through betrayal, or through people slowly showing you who they've always been. But one way or another, reflection. Truth always finds its way to light. When someone walks away without reason, don't chase them. When someone starts acting distant, don't beg them to stay. That's God moving for you. Reflection. You might feel confused, wondering why He's taking people away when you thought they were blessings. But not every presence is a gift. Some are distractions wrapped in familiarity. Reflection. God removes what doesn't align with where He's taking you. Sometimes He will allow hearts to turn cold so you stop relying on them and start depending fully on Him. Reflection. What looks like rejection is often protection. You're not losing love. You're losing limits. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Reflection. God is teaching you that not every loss is a tragedy. Some losses are lessons that save your soul from future pain. You see, when God starts revealing people's true nature, reflection, it's not because He wants you bitter. It's because He wants you better. He knows the weight that false loyalty carries. He knows the damage that silent envy can do to your peace. So, reflection. He removes the fakes before they destroy your faith. And while it may hurt, that pain is proof that He's working. You may cry. You may feel lonely, but He's building your discernment. Reflection. He's showing you that you can't build a future on shaky foundations. Sometimes the only way for him to get your attention is to allow the truth to cut deep enough for you to finally let go. Reflection, don't fight the process. Every goodbye is part of his grand design. Every person who walks away is making space for someone who will honor your spirit, not just your success. Reflection, what feels like rejection today will look like direction tomorrow when you see where he was leading you all along. Fake people are not always easy to recognize because they don't walk into your life wearing warning signs. Reflection, they come disguised as supporters, as friends who clap when you win, as confidants who seem to care about your dreams. They tell you what you want to hear, not because they believe in you, reflection, but because they want access to you. They study your weaknesses, your fears, your hopes, and they use them to stay close. That's why discernment is such a powerful gift. Reflection, you can't always trust what people say. You have to watch what they do when your name isn't in the room. Because when your light starts to shine brighter, reflection, it doesn't just attract people who want to help. It also exposes those who are pretending to love your glow while secretly resenting your fire. Reflection, God allows that exposure because he doesn't want you walking into your destiny surrounded by deception. Reflection, there will be moments when you start noticing small things, energy that shifts when you walk in, smiles that no longer reach the eyes, compliments that feel hollow. Reflection, laughter that doesn't sound as genuine as it used to. Don't ignore those signs. That's your spirit recognizing truth before your mind wants to accept it. Reflection, God often whispers through intuition before he reveals through action. When you feel that unease around someone who once felt safe, trust it. It's not paranoia, it's protection. Reflection, you don't have to confront everyone and you don't have to explain yourself. When God starts exposing, your silence will speak louder than any argument ever could. Reflection, let him handle the revealing. Because when he does it, there's no confusion, no drama, just truth. And truth, no matter how painful, always sets you free. Reflection, sometimes the people you thought would be your biggest supporters will turn into your quietest enemies. They'll cheer when you stumble and stay silent when you succeed. Reflection, they'll act like they care, but secretly hope your light fades. But here's the beautiful thing, you don't need to fight them. You don't need to defend yourself. Reflection, just keep walking in your purpose. Keep letting your light shine, because light doesn't argue with darkness, it simply reveals it. The more you grow, the more their true colors will show. Reflection, that's why you don't need revenge or resentment. Exposure is enough. Let time reveal what truth already knows. Reflection, when the same people who pretended to be for you start revealing who they really are, don't break, breathe. Thank God for clarity, because clarity is the first step toward peace. Reflection, you're not losing anyone worth keeping, you're just learning who never deserved your trust in the first place. God's revelation is not to wound you, it's to wake you. Reflection, he's showing you that your heart is too valuable to keep giving to people who only came to take. When people betray you, it's easy to let anger take root. It's easy to replay what they did. Reflection, to let resentment whisper that you'll never trust again. But the truth is, betrayal is not the end, it's an awakening. God doesn't let you see how fake someone was to make you bitter. Reflection, he does it to make you stronger, wiser, and spiritually grounded. Every fake smile, every backstab, every hidden motive was a lesson preparing you for discernment. When you face deception, reflection, you're being trained to see beyond words, beyond charm, and into the heart. You're learning to recognize what peace feels like and what pretenders sound like. Reflection, that kind of wisdom doesn't come easy. It's earned through pain, but it becomes your protection for the future. So don't despise the betrayal. Let it sharpen you. Reflection, let it teach you what loyalty truly means, so that when real love and genuine support come, you'll recognize them immediately. Reflection, the people who turned on you didn't stop your destiny. They strengthened it. They pushed you closer to God, because when everyone else walked away, he stayed. And in that quiet, painful space, reflection, you discovered who your true source was. Betrayal has a way of stripping away illusion. It breaks the idol of human approval and reminds you that no one holds your peace except God. Reflection, that's why you can't let the hurt harden your heart. Bitterness blocks blessings. You might think holding on to pain protects you, but it only poisons your spirit. Reflection, forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means you refuse to carry it anymore. You give it to God and let him handle what you can't. Because when you release people, reflection, you make room for peace. You stop being chained to their actions and start walking in your own freedom. There's power in rising above what tried to destroy you. Reflection, every time you choose grace over vengeance, you grow. Every time you smile in the face of betrayal, heaven celebrates your strength. Reflection, don't waste your energy proving to others that you're over it. Live in a way that shows that the best revenge is not revenge at all. It's peace, progress, and purpose. Keep working. Reflection. Keep shining. Keep loving. Let your success be your response. Your calm be your weapon. Your faith be your victory. People who wronged you will expect you to crumble. But when you rise anyway, reflection. It speaks louder than any words could. Let God handle the justice. He's better at it than you'll ever be. Your job is to heal, to keep your heart pure, and to keep walking forward. Reflection. Because the moment you let go of bitterness, the chains fall off and your spirit can finally breathe again. Reflection. The same pain that once tried to break you will one day become the power that builds you. Reflection. There comes a time when you'll look around and realize that everyone you thought would be by your side is suddenly gone. The room feels quieter, the phone doesn't ring as much. Reflection. And the people who once claimed they'd never leave have vanished. In those moments, loneliness can feel like punishment. You start asking yourself what went wrong. Reflection. What you did to deserve the silence. But that's when you have to remember, God doesn't remove people to hurt you. He removes them to protect you. Reflection. The isolation you're feeling isn't abandonment, it's divine preparation. When you prayed for peace, God heard you. When you asked for growth, He listened. Reflection. But you didn't realize that peace often requires separation and growth demands pruning. So He started clearing your circle, not to make you feel empty, but to make room for new strength, reflection, new clarity, and new purpose. Those quiet seasons are not wasted, they're sacred. When everything slows down and the noise fades, that's when God does His deepest work in you. Reflection. It's in the solitude where He shapes your character, refines your faith, and strengthens your spirit. You may not see it at first, but He's teaching you to stand alone. Reflection. To find comfort in His presence, to stop depending on voices that only echoed your insecurities. You begin to understand that not everyone who started with you is meant to finish with you. Reflection. Some people were part of your journey's lesson, not its destination. And when their time expires, God makes sure they exit, even if you try to hold them close. You might cry over what you lost. Reflection. But one day you'll thank Him for what He took away, because sometimes the people you wanted most in your future would have only brought chaos into your peace. Their absence is painful now, reflection, but it's proof of divine order. You can't step into your next chapter carrying the weight of those who were never meant to go there. God will not allow fake, jealous, reflection, or distracted hearts to follow you into destiny. That's why certain relationships crumble right before your breakthrough. He's removing weak energy before it contaminates your victory. Reflection, isolation isn't a sign that you've been forgotten. It's a sign that you're being prepared. Think of it like a seed planted deep in the soil. It's buried, but it's not dead. Reflection. It's growing in the dark, developing roots before it breaks through the surface. That's what God is doing with you in your lonely seasons. He's grounding you, building your strength, reflection, and preparing you to bloom in a way that no storm can uproot. So don't rush the process. Don't mourn what's been removed. When you finally step into what He's been preparing, reflection, you'll realize why the silence was necessary. God was separating you not from people, but for purpose. At the end of it all, when the dust settles and the masks have fallen, reflection, you'll begin to see the full picture of what God was doing all along. The pain that once made no sense will suddenly reveal its purpose. Every person who walked away, reflection, every friendship that ended, every betrayal that broke your heart, it all had meaning. God was never trying to destroy you. He was refining you. Reflection, He was taking away what wasn't real so He could replace it with what was meant to last. You didn't lose people. You lost illusions. The ones who left were never truly for you. Reflection, they were only for the version of you that benefited them. When that version evolved, they couldn't handle your light, your growth, your calling. Reflection. And so God allowed their true colors to come through. He let you see the difference between connection and attachment, between support and convenience, between love and control. Reflection, that revelation hurt, but it was holy, because you can't live in truth while surrounded by lies. You have to trust that exposure always comes with purpose. It may not feel good, but it is good for you. God doesn't reveal fakeness to break your heart. He reveals it to build your discernment. He knows that destiny requires purity, reflection, and you can't carry hidden poison into the promise. Every fake friend who left was making space for a real one. Every door that closed was redirecting you towards something greater. Reflection, you might have lost company, but you gained clarity. You might have cried yourself to sleep, but you woke up stronger. That's the beauty of divine revelation. It doesn't just expose people, reflection, it elevates you. You start to see that what was taken wasn't needed, and what remained was always meant to be. Those who stayed through your storms, who prayed when others gossiped, reflection, who stood by you when it wasn't popular, those are your people. That's your tribe. They were the reward after the revealing. So don't look back with regret. Look back with understanding. Reflection. You didn't fail, you were being prepared. Every disappointment was direction. Every heartbreak was redirection. And every fake person was an answered prayer in disguise. Reflection. You asked God to protect you, and He did. It just didn't look the way you expected. Sometimes His protection comes dressed as rejection, His blessings disguised as endings. Reflection. What you thought was lost was actually liberation. You're freer now, lighter now, wiser now. And one day, when you step fully into your purpose, reflection, you'll realize that the exposure wasn't about them at all. It was about you. It was about transforming you into someone who no longer settles for imitation, who recognizes value, reflection, who stands tall in truth. God had to let you see how fake they were so you could finally understand how real He's been all along. So now as you stand here, stronger, wiser, reflection, and no longer fooled by faces that wore false love, lift your head and give thanks. Every tear you cried was watering the roots of your strength. Reflection. Every person who left was part of God's lesson plan for your growth. You didn't lose anything that was real, because what's real can never be taken away. Reflection. What walked out was never meant to stay, and what remains is meant to rise with you. Don't carry bitterness from what God already freed you from. Reflection. Let peace be your closure and gratitude be your answer. When God shows you who people truly are, believe it, but also bless it. Bless them as they go, and bless yourself as you grow. Reflection, because you're not defined by who left, you're defined by who you became after they did. The exposure was not to embarrass you, it was to empower you. Now you see clearly. Reflection, and now you move wisely, and now you walk boldly, knowing that God's plan never needed pretenders to succeed. Keep your heart pure, your spirit steady, and your eyes lifted to heaven. Reflection, for the same God who revealed the fake will surround you with the faithful. And when that day comes, you'll look back and say, thank you, God, reflection, for removing the counterfeit so I could finally live in truth.